Most CMOs underestimate this. I know that I did. You're not just leading marketing, you're actually leading people, okay? And if you don't get the balance right, it's going to break you. Because in actual fact, being brilliant at marketing doesn't automatically make you brilliant at leadership. And the CMO role actually demands both, okay? And that's the reality of the leadership load of the role. And it's one of the heaviest traps that you can face, okay? I'm Dave, and I'm an ex-CMO now turned performance coach. And over the past year, I've used all my experience from boardrooms to endurance races, now to psychology coaching, to help ambitious leaders reset, refocus, and rise. Okay, and I've seen inside of the role myself. I've lived the pressure, and I now coach CMOs who are right in the thick of it. Okay, and here's what I know to be true: if you only focus on marketing and you neglect leadership, you're eventually going to hit a wall. Let me give you a picture of what this looks like. Okay, I've worked with CMOs and marketing directors who are brilliant at strategy. They can design a campaign funnel in their sleep. They can articulate a brand vision that can inspire a room. But when it comes to leading people, they get stretched thin. They've got no idea about human behavior beyond purchase intent, struggling with emotional regulation in their team and even in themselves, right? One-to-ones get postponed, team development takes a backseat, and the soft stuff just gets squeezed out by campaign deadlines. And over time, what happens? Yeah, people disengage, morale dips, friction starts to build, and suddenly the CMO's job is not just harder, it's almost impossible, because the thing is, your team and the people around you, they are your multiplier. If they're on fire, everything moves faster. Everything feels easier. Everything feels like flow, right? But if they're burnt out, everything slows down, yeah? And you're spending more time second guessing how they're going to turn up. And that's the hidden weight of the role, okay? You're not just managing marketing, you're carrying the human side as well. And that's what leadership's about, right? So it shows up in different ways. Sometimes you start to think being the player coach is the answer. You start being in the weeds and leading at the same time, and then you start to firefight and you end up in a loop. You spend all your time fixing things and fixing immediate problems, but never building long-term capability. And then you start to isolate. You forget that your job isn't to have all the answers, but it's to build a team that can solve problems without you. Okay, so how do you manage all that? How do you deal with it? You start seeing your leadership as leverage. Okay, leverage is when you start getting outsized returns from your team from the same amount of personal inputs from you. And here's how you do it: prioritize people over campaigns. Block out time for the important stuff, the one-to-ones, the coaching, the recognition. Don't cancel just because things get busy. Protect it, because if your people thrive and make meaningful progress, guess what? The campaigns and the outcomes thrive as well. Okay, you've got to also delegate like a leader, not like a manager. So don't just offload your to-do list and offload tasks. Transfer complete ownership. Give people space to make decisions, to fail, and back them even if they don't do it exactly your way. Okay, challenge them, but support them as well. And that means that they're empowered to do their thing. Yeah, build your bench as well. Your role isn't to be the smartest marketer in the room. It's to build the smartest team, and that's how you scale yourself and stop being that bottleneck. So, of course, there's a reframe around all of this. Yeah, leadership isn't an extra part of the job. It is the job, because you can be the most brilliant marketer in the world, but if you can't inspire, grow, mobilize your people, then your impact is always going to be capped. Okay, but when you embrace the leadership as your leverage, you multiply your influence, okay? And that's when you start to move from being a good CMO into being a great one. That's the reality of leadership. And if you're honest with yourself, ask, am I spending more time on campaigns or on people? Because the answer to that question is going to give you everything you need to know about where your leadership is heading. Okay, in the next video, we're going to look at one of the toughest, but one of the most common positions that a CMO can find themselves in, and that's being stuck in the middle. Yeah, managing up to the board, managing down to your team. It's the pressure cooker part of being a CMO. And in the C-suite, I'll show you how to survive it. So hit subscribe, share with someone in marketing leadership, keep turning up, and until then, I'll see you in the next one.